Oh, hello. I am back for a different type of video this time. Not talking about a licensed video game, but talking about myself, I guess. I'm going to be giving a brief little history of Noiselandco, the man, the myth, the legend. This whole project that I guess falls under this Noiselandco umbrella. Why I started it, what it is, and then I'm also going to be highlighting some new art that I commissioned for the channel because I also figured that I've evolved beyond those initial parameters of mine for this project, and I needed some new art to kind of like reflect that. So, yeah, first of all, Noiselandco, the name of all this stuff, this channel and everything else, comes from my website noiseland.co, which is a website I've been working on for like 20 years now, on and off, about Simpsons video games. That is the whole point of this website. It is designed to highlight Simpsons games because at some point I just realized that there's a whole bunch of them and nobody looks at them together. Nobody cares about Simpsons video games outside of like, oh yeah, I loved, Krusty's Funhouse, or more likely, I loved The Simpsons Hit and Run, and I loved maybe the Simpsons game. But people love certain games. They don't love the whole thing or, have enough interest in the whole thing to spend time on all of it. Nobody wants to like ingest the whole mass of Simpsons video game merch because there's a lot of it. Like here on this website, I have a section for video games, for the LCD handhelds, arcade, miscellaneous stuff, like much of which I had to purchase, by the way. Like a lot of these images I obtained from photographs and scans myself. So that's part of this project, or it was for a while. And yeah, I have basically just put all this together myself from various sources, some of which is just buying the things myself. And it's all collected here. And it's not up to date, I'll give it that. Like, there are many new fan games here that I haven't added to this section, for example. So I'm behind in some respects, but this is meant to collect everything. The other way I'm behind, this is a very crusty and old website at this point. So old that Google rejects it. It no longer comes up in searches because it's not mobile friendly. Like I'm viewing this on a browser, of course, but if you're on mobile, this website is not mobile friendly at all. And it would be a lot of work to update it. Someday maybe I will, but for now, the only way to find it is if you go directly to that URL, noiseland.co. So yeah, it's all Simpsons stuff. You can see here, I have a very old section for like media scans, old reviews. This is all 90s stuff. When print media mattered as well. I have a site news section where I try to update little things that are happening in the world of Simpsons video games. So there's some of that. Some articles I've written, quick little write-ups. Most recently, it's just stuff that I've done, like how I got to work on the Simpsons game, my work on the PSP version of the Simpsons game specifically. A Q&A somebody did that I did not get published, so I just published it myself. So there's that. Retrospective, I'll actually get to that in a moment. But finally, some history. So I have an About section. Again, you can read all about whatever the history is there. But more specifically, the evolution of this little mascot character at the top. Like most of this art is from Simpsons advertising or print. This little character is a custom design that combines the body of Mario from Mario Brothers 2. If you haven't seen that image, I think I have it here. There it is. Mario Brothers 2, very famous box shot, where he's just jumping, holding a turnip. That's what I remember. And that's what I modeled this after. And I'm not an illustrator, but I do know how to trace. So using Photoshop, I was able to kind of like take that Mario body and then take this custom head. But that's not where it started. So where it started was, this website was called Comic Book Guy's Video Game Collection. You can see here a very old screenshot of the very old version of this website from 10 years ago. There you go. 20, sorry, that's how math works. 20 years ago is when this whole thing started. So you can see here, yeah, CBG was my mascot. He was my guy because he was the nerd on the show. He was the guy who would know about and care about video games that otherwise nobody cares about. And that evolved over time. As I got better at web design and web development, I kind of just updated the site a little bit, made it look better. You can see here I traced some different screenshots of Comic Book Guy for the mascot art. Again, here's another version of the site when it got a bit brighter. It wasn't all dark style. Different art you can see here as well. Then we go from there. Then finally we get to the first version of that little jumping guy icon, which is me plastering comic book guy's head onto that Mario body. And he's holding a burrito instead of a turnip. That was because that's my power up in life, is a burrito. You can see here now we're getting closer to the current version of the website. Still navigation on the right, but still using that same little mascot of CBG and some miscellaneous art. And finally, we get to the version right before this current live version, still using Comic Book Guy as the mascot and the name of the website. So that's still there. And then that was version 2018. So it's been 5 years since that. And then all of that just leads us to the current version. So, and it all fits for a website about Simpsons video games. The problem is, later on, I kind of developed this YouTube channel, Noiselandco, and I think, again, it was also named Comic Book Guy's Video Game Collection for a while before I renamed things. But my brand, I hate to use the word, but this is also what I was trained to use in college when I studied this stuff. But the branding of everything became Noiselandco. And you can see here that I was using those Simpsons based images or illustrations as the art to represent me and this stuff I was doing. And again, when the channel was about just Simpsons stuff, you can see here in the screenshot of the previous version of the channel, like I started off with just videos about the Simpsons games. That's all I was doing. But I evolved, right? Eventually I thought, I can look at more stuff than just the Simpsons. So you can see here, I've looked at Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the books of Dan Brown, King of the Hill. That was a whole series about one video game. That was kind of nuts. Young Indiana Jones and Goosebumps. So just really stuff that I feel like looking at. And I realized they have multiple video games based on this one thing. I'll dive in. So this channel has evolved beyond Simpsons stuff. There you can see again that jumping guy icon being used here. I also put together this other image, again, just from tracing other images. I'm not an illustrator or artist, but I can trace like nobody's business. So I did that. That art specifically I created for this book I wrote, Bart versus My Hopes and Dreams. That's the culmination of the project, really, where I just wrote a whole book in which I write about all 25 of those Simpsons video games, the core Simpsons games that are, video games, none of the LCDs or other stuff. So it's kind of a subset of the overall project, but it was still neat to focus on just that. And that's where I used the art. I don't know if shady's the word. I was real careful about how I used the art here because, again, this is all based on Simpson or Matt Groening's style, and I don't want to infringe on rights. I don't make money off this stuff. I don't want Fox or anyone coming after me thinking oh, you're selling a book, you're making a profit using our art style. But I wrote this. That's what the art was for. That banner art that I created to write this book. But like I said, it was time to move on. So I commissioned this artist, Cam Estela, who I'm a big fan of. I love her work. I love her illustration and her style. And then we finally get some new art for everywhere. You can see here's my Twitter account for Noiselandco. There's the new icon. Again, I kind of wanted to stick to the same references, referencing Super Mario Brothers 2 and the jumping guy icon, or referencing the box for Bart's Nightmare, right? That's sort of style as well. Which if you haven't seen, I should also have that reference up somewhere. Here we go. So, no, that's bad. Let's find a good shot. Here we go. So that's what that is referencing. It's the shot of Bart's Nightmare. He's kind of screaming. He's twirling through a void. And that's what this banner is based on. So there it is on Twitter. I have an account on Tumblr as well. So they're using new art there. And finally, yes, new channel, new art, or rather same channel, new art. And it looks great. I love it. It was really cool that I could get Cam to do this work, this commission project, because again, I love her style, and I think it really helps to get away from that Simpsons focus to broaden it. Because I've broadened what I'm looking at. So something that's just more or less Simpson-y and more, but still cool. I think was my goal. Some close-ups of that art. Again, I think she nailed it. Cam is great. She captured exactly the style, the thing I was after, which was preserving those poses of like da-da-da, just heroically jumping the way Mario Brothers, the way Mario does on that cover art. Again, Burrito is my power-up, so that was essential to have there. Here's the new banner art. I think it looks really good. She nailed it. She got that same twirling vortex and the miscellaneous things flying, and it's so surreal and night sky and everything. Like, oh man, it just looks great. This is definitely like just a shout out video as well to Cam, because I think she did amazing work. And again, I love her style. I think it's really cool. So yeah, that's where we'll end the video then. That's the history of everything I've been doing and the evolution of the art that I've been using. And thanks to Cam, I now have new neat art. Here's some of Cam's art from her website. It's all awesome. Like, I don't know. Oh, yeah, my bad web connection might not let me load the images properly, but I'll just do this, scroll down. You can see here all the great art she does. This is her website, camestela.com. There's her Instagram. You can follow her there for a bunch of cool pieces she posts. She's on Twitter as well. Working on a new project there, apparently, as of an hour ago. That's exciting. So something cool there. And here's her Instagram. And I got really lucky in that she was available for commissions. If you're lucky too, maybe, and you need some neat art, maybe you'll be able to snag that as well. But it sounds like she's working on some new stuff. So maybe she might be too busy. Who knows? But anyway, check out her art. It's amazing. That's Noiselandco for you. Look forward to a bunch of new videos about stuff that very few people care about within the context of, all of it. Like, I like to look at all of the thing to understand the whole versus like the one that people like to single out as the good version of the thing, right? Like, just, yeah, people like to talk about the one good Goosebumps game, the one good Star Trek game, etc. I like to look at all of it and understand the history and what led us to these games. But also it's interesting to just see the adaptation of those works, like how developers interpret a license like Star Trek or The Simpsons or whatever, and they have to figure out like, yeah, how do we design a video game for this? And that's what I do, and that's what I will continue doing as I go on here. So that's it for this video, though. That's a brief little history. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you on the next one.